Hello, I'm Mark Meer. Happy social distancing, everyone. This is my contribution to the Citadel Theater's Stuck in the House series. It's an excerpt from my play Fear and Loathing and Lovecraft, which I adapted from the novel The Damned Highway, Fear and Loathing in Arkham by Brian Keene and Nick Mamatas. Now, the play version was directed by Mr. T.J. Daw and was performed at the Edmonton Fringe Festival last year by me. It's best described as Hunter S. Thompson meets H.P. Lovecraft. So if that intrigues you, I hope you enjoy this brief sample of Fear and Loathing and Lovecraft. Winter in Woody Creek, Colorado. It is just after midnight on January 5th, 1972, and this is when the fun begins. They call this the wee hours, but there's nothing small about the hours between midnight and dawn. No. These hours last forever, each one as vast and endless as the black gulf between the stars. They also call this the witching hour, and who knows, maybe they're right. All I know for sure is that this is when I do my best work. This is when I'm strongest, when the whiskey and the pills and the mescaline course through my body, and my mind burns with a terrible righteousness and sense of indignation. This is alchemy. This is magic. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm certainly both of those. Ask anyone. They know. They'll tell you I'm both weird and a pro. I am a professional writer, and my role is that of the background observer. I am a doctor of journalism, and there is nothing more professional than that. And the night? Yeah. The night has never been weirder. There's something prowling around my front door. Though I've heard it many times tonight, I don't know what it is. It can't be the peacocks. I killed them earlier today in a moment of blind rage and gripping paranoia. But there is something out there, lurking in the night. It might be a deer, or a coyote, or a big bastard of a bear, but then again, maybe not, because darkness has a way of changing things. Darkness is Mother Nature's LSD. And instead of a wild animal, the thing on my doorstep could be a politician, or an editor. Worse yet, it could be a fan. I hate fans as much as I hate editors. They fill my heart with fear and loathing. The walls here at my compound have been breached, despite their fortifications. This place is no longer safe. My sanctuary is inundated with the bleating sheep cries of 1,000 fan letters, and every time I open an envelope, ignorance and madness spill forth and flutter around the room like deranged bats. All because of that goddamn Las Vegas book. They call me a cult hero, and a prophet, and a spokesman for our generation. They say I'm violent and paranoid and weird, an ex-Hell's Angel turned celebrity journalist and writer. But never mind all that, eh? I don't give a hoot in hell what people think or say about me. What do they know? I am armed with a typewriter and many guns. I have cigarettes and whiskey and a wide assortment of pharmaceutical enhancements that the peacocks didn't eat before I murdered them. With these, I can handle almost anything. Nixon is on the radio now. His voice makes me want to cut my own skin off with a broken beer bottle. There's something incredibly insectile about it, almost as if he weren't human. And who knows? Maybe he isn't. Maybe Nixon is just a brown stain left behind on Satan's mattress. Richard Milhouse Nixon is an ignorant brute who represents nothing but the dark side of the American dream. He's a big, dumb, repugnant beast who exudes greed, treachery, and a contempt for our system from his diseased, swollen pores, and every breath he takes forms the basis of another poisonous lie. Sound like someone you know? I interviewed him once in the back of his limo. All we talked about was football. As far as I know, that's the only time Nixon ever told the truth about anything. You see, football is Nixon's game. It's my game, too. It's a sport for vicious brutes and ignorant bastards. And there's nothing more vicious, or more ignorant, or more brutish than our president. Did I say that Nixon represents the dark side of the American dream? Forget that. That was the whiskey talking. Forgive me. The drugs have kicked in, and I know not what I type. Richard Nixon doesn't represent the dark side of the American dream. No. Richard Nixon represents the American nightmare. Oh, there is no American dream. Not anymore. no guiding principle for generations of our countrymen. In the end, the American dream was left bleeding out face down in an alley, choking on its own vomit and urine. I'm reminded what a wise and powerful sage, myself, wrote not so long ago, of how the 60s were a wonderful time, when the energy of an entire generation came to a head, and we were all riding the crest of a high and beautiful wave. Things were ripe for change, but in the end, like all ripe fruit, things spoiled on the vine and turned rotten. Go up on a hill in Las Vegas and look west, and you can still see the high water mark in the distance. That place where the wave finally broke and rolled back, revealing a tentacle-faced monstrosity. It's enough to drive anyone insane, unless they have access to good drugs. Maybe God, if such a thing exists, was merciful when he gave us the inability to sort all this shit out in our collective brains, because one thing's for sure, the good times were over. This is the end, beautiful friends. The end. Rape and murder shall be the law of the land. The stars are right, and the age of Aquarius is over. This is the age of Rillier. What's that word? Rillier. Where does it come from, and what does it mean? Rillier. Ah, never mind. Doesn't matter. Just a typo induced by the drugs, or the whiskey, or good old-fashioned fatigue. That thing is still out there, prowling through the snow and scratching at the window panes. I would go out and confront it, but I don't think I can stand.